my journaling update. So some months ago, about 6, maybe 7, am I centered here? About 6, maybe 7 months ago, I did a journaling challenge video. And at that time, I had talked all about how I embarked on a journaling challenge. It was a 30-day challenge to journal daily. And at the time of that video, I had actually been journaling for 6 months. So I wanted to give a video talking all about my experience with the journaling challenge and things that I learned about myself, whether or not I would continue, all of that good stuff. I'll have that video linked up here for you if you want to check it out. But right now, today's video is all about my experience with journaling a full year later. So if I was smart, I would have watched that video before I started this one, but I did not. So maybe I'm not smart, I don't know. But I'm just gonna go off the top of my head of what I think I recall covering in that video. But really it's all about how I'm feeling now as it relates to journaling. As I said, we are now 1 full year ahead. So I started this on April 16th, 2021. This is actually now the beginning of May. So we're about a year and 2 weeks past when I originally started journaling on a daily basis. So first of all, I'm very proud of myself for doing this for 1 whole year. Also, I guess I should clarify, I didn't journal every single day for the year, but we'll get to that in a moment. I just wanted to talk through all the things that I learned about myself, all the things I learned about journaling in general, and how that helped me learn things about myself, because maybe this will be a good resource for you if you're trying to get into journaling or trying to understand why and if you should do it in the first place. So for me personally, I kind of uncovered the things that made this journaling process interesting for me. I had to figure out, like, why would I even want to do it? So there are a few things that I kind of learned about myself. I already knew them for the most part, but this sort of solidified all of that I knew about myself. And I feel like being self-aware is extremely important with how we navigate the world around us and how we navigate our relationships and our lives in general. So knowing about yourself is extremely important. So I've learned and sort of like solidified, made concrete the fact that I actually do really love the act of writing. I love having a pen in my hand and writing on some paper. I feel like, I guess maybe it's a little bit meditative in a sense, as I'm writing down my thoughts and just the repetition of the movements, or maybe the process in general, but I really do love the act of writing. And along with that, I know I've spoken about this before, I've actually done a video on it as well, but I really do love using different pens and different inks for that process. So it helps me to explore new pens. It helps me to explore different colors of ink, and that is really what draws me in. That's really what lures me to journaling regularly. Sounds kind of superficial because I want to use a new ink, but I want to use a new ink. So I'm going to start to journal, and once I do, all of the ideas and the thoughts come flooding out onto the page. And along the same veins of appreciating the pens and the ink, I actually do appreciate the paper. I'm a stationery nerd. I like planners and stationery and papers and pens. So the quality of the paper is extremely important to me, and I really do love the tactile experience of writing on good quality paper with fountain pen ink. I like flipping through the well-worn pages, or the feeling of those worn and crinkly kinds of pages. It really feels calming, and like I said, it kind of goes back to that meditative feeling or the meditative process of journaling for me. So those are the reasons why it's interesting to me. So some of the things I've learned about myself through this process is that I think journaling for me helps aid in critical thinking. So it helps me to think deeply about topics that maybe I would either breeze over because life is getting in the way, or topics that I think I've thought through or I think I uncovered, but really as I sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, I start to discover even more about the way that I think about certain topics or certain life events or just certain emotions that I might be feeling. There's this one amazing quote that I absolutely love, and it says something like, I'll put it on the screen and I'll also credit who says it, but it says something like, I write so that I know what I'm thinking, or I write so that I can understand my thoughts, something along those lines. And that is absolutely what journaling does for me. I think I know how I feel, or I think I know, you know, the thoughts that I'm feeling, or the thoughts that I'm thinking. But once I put those ideas onto paper, it's almost like I am unveiling a deeper level of what I really do think about those topics and how I'm processing those emotions. And I don't know if this sounds super deep, super cheesy, you know, I don't know if it sounds out there. It really does help me understand my thoughts and myself and my thought processes a whole lot better. Therefore, when I understand it better, I'm able to communicate that to others better. I'm able to foster the relationships that are important in my life a lot better, because I have a good understanding of where I'm coming from, what I want, what I need, what I expect, all those things wrapped up into one. I've also noticed along the way that I actually get very disinterested in the journaling process if I'm using it like a diary. And I do remember mentioning this in my previous video, because I was like, I'm not like, oh dear diary, today was, you know, I don't write or journal in that fashion. Though sometimes I do feel, and especially in the beginning when I was trying to establish the habit, I do find, or did find, that it was important to kind of start that way, and then as I was writing, the thoughts would flow more freely and easily, and the whole journaling process became easier for me overall. But if I'm just sticking to writing down the daily happenings or events in my journal, no thank you. Just not interested. I'll pass. You know, it's not something that part of journaling, or that form of journaling for me, does nothing. It doesn't lure me in, it doesn't entice me, it doesn't keep me interested. So I guess it's important for me to understand that, so that I can stay away from journaling in that fashion if I find that there are times where I just can't think of what to write. And I guess that is another tip that I've learned about myself, or another thing that has been revealed about myself, is that when there are times when I don't feel led to write, or I don't feel led to talk about specific topics, it's okay not to write anything. And sometimes that's what I need. Sometimes I might need a break from critical thinking. Maybe I need a week or 2 weeks off from journaling regularly or journaling constantly, and that's okay. I journal when my mind and when my mood need it. I journal when it best serves me. Otherwise, I can't force it. I can't force it, can't force myself into it, can't force myself to love it and enjoy it. So please don't do that either. So I just journal when I need it. And through this whole process, doing this for a year, I've come to understand better the times when I actually need it. And that's not always daily, and that's okay. It's mostly daily, but it's not always daily, and it doesn't have to be. Just because I started the journaling challenge as a 30-day daily journaling challenge doesn't mean I have to do it every single day of my life. It's not necessary, because then I start to kind of get into, I guess, just it being a force of habit, as opposed to something that I'm really investing my energy into, or really putting some brain power into. I don't want it to be something that is just, I'm gonna write a few lines and then that's it, and just do it because I said I was gonna do it. I actually want to invest this time and energy if it's going to feed me in some kind of way. So after embarking on this journaling challenge and I shouldn't call it a challenge anymore, right? After embarking on this journaling journey for an entire year, I can confidently say it is something I encourage everyone to try in whatever way, shape, or fashion that suits you best. I understand it's not easy for everyone to journal with a pen and a piece of paper. So if you would prefer to do it on a typewriter, man, I'm showing my age. So if you prefer to do it if you prefer to do it on a computer, that's something that would be great for you. Or there are people who like to use voice memos. I guess if you're a talker, you know, I don't know, you talk to yourself a lot. Though For me, it doesn't quite register. Like, I don't want to listen to myself talking about something, but it could work for you. That's another way that you can kind of journal. You clear your thoughts, clear your mind, and understand yourself a lot better. So it's something I encourage everyone to try, and then to figure out which format or which version works best for you. Figure out how often you should do it so that it contributes to your mental well-being or your mental health, but try it. That's all I'm saying. Everybody should just try it. So tell me, what do you think about journaling? What do you think about the process of journaling? Do you like to do it? Do you hate it? How have you discovered any information about yourself? Or is this something that you've never even thought of doing and maybe now you want to give it a shot? Let me know. Let's open up the discussion down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today's video and listening to me blab about how enlightening journaling has been for me and how many rainbows it has uncovered for me. I truly do appreciate you. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.